Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, April 26th. Crypto is pumping right now, and you have tuned into the NFT Morning Show. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time each and every week, where we discuss all things NFTs, crypto technology, entertainment, gaming, finance, and just about everything in between. The show is also available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the like button. It really helps us out on that platform. Anyways, I'm your host, P.O., here with my co-host, Nifty Nick, is going to be joining us today. He's going to be back in the show seat. Of course, Signal, sporting a hat for, I think, 3 days in a row. Everybody's talking about it. The coder turned content creator, the host of Artist Spotlight. We love having Signal's sophisticated takes on the show, and she delivers the weather report every single day with a lot of oomph. Easy Eats Bodega, the dog behind Bodogos, the host of GM Market Talk, technical trader extraordinaire. Love hearing what's going on at the ground level of the NFT space. King Kicks, CEO of Crypto Raiders, Cyber Stadium, still crushing it. Crypto Raiders is a full-on gaming studio now. Nobody made more money than this guy during the bull run that didn't profit off of Bored Apes. The intelligent degenerate. We love, hearing his takes on the NFT market. He does
Thanks for having me, Theo.
Of course, you do got to pop up on the Twitter stage, though, amigo. Clemente, producer extraordinaire, the man behind the scenes, would not be able to do the show without him. And last but not least, we have Bunny. Bunny, your bio just says $1,000 Pumas with your ape. Count you in.
I'm hyped for these, man. You were talking about 4,000 shoes being low supply, right, in the sneaker game. Imagine we cut that in half and put Bored Apes on them. Wow.
What could go wrong?
And plus, when they raise a lot of money, P.O., there's always some hopium that some of that trickles down to me, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. Are Pumas cool shoes, Bunny?
Not for that price.
Easy, what do you think of Pumas?
They're not cool.
They were, though.
I guess. I mean, I like their basketball shoes, but like, to just wear a pair of Pumas, I don't know about these, man. I don't know about these ones.
What about so ready? Look at these ones, though. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I used to have a pair of these. These are, in my opinion, pretty good. Easy. What do you think of these Pumas?
Clydes. I like the Clydes.
Did you wear them with the high white socks?
Yeah, maybe not white socks, but now this picture is just making me want to get a pair of these Pumas and the white socks.
Hey guys, did anyone do math homework last night? I was running a little late doing the science exam studying.
Thank you, Kicks.
Nobody can see what the hell you're talking about. Maybe if you provided a description, us listeners would actually have an understanding of what you're speaking about. Thank you.
You're the only person saying that. All the listeners and me are having a great time. You just can't see them. Signal, what do you think of Pumas?
Think of these? Hey, what do you think of this, Theo? Huh?
It's a pretty nice box, Nick. Hope moving's going well.
Signal, you're the fashionista. What do you think of Puma sneakers in general?
They're not my first choice. I wouldn't say they might not even be my fifth choice, to be honest. Like, I don't know, man. Like, we've just had Nike, now we got Adidas, now we got Puma. I mean, number one is the Takashi. I mean, what kind of it just is. And the Pumas, I would rather get like that style you showed as an everyday. I'd rather get like the Gazelles, like the Adidas Gazelles. I prefer those. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Puma. Like, at one point they were cool, but I don't know what they did to like not become cool anymore. But yeah, they're not even my top 5. Sorry, man.
It's a tough one. I don't have any Pumas. I don't have a horse in the race here, but I have owned those Pumas that I showed, which, ladies and gentlemen, were the Puma Suedes, if you want to Google them, if you're just listening. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about on today's show. We have to discuss, obviously, that 10 KTF shoe drop with Puma, some $1,000 Pumas. I think Puma probably said, sign me up.
Hey, Pio.
Yeah.
I'm not Googling it, okay? If you could just tell me what the damn shoes look like, that would make and a better experience for me as a listener.
If you were a speaker right now, I would have removed you from the stage. I 1,000% would have removed you from the stage if you were a speaker, not a co-host.
I don't know what's worse, like not knowing the context of the shoe describing, or having someone literally over words describe what a shoe looks like. I think that would be worse for me.
So
You know
they're
what I mean?
low
I wanna know
top,
how it fits
ankle
on your
cut, made of suede, and it's a rubbable suede. So if you adjust it, it slightly changes the hue. They're about 18 inches in length, about 4 inches tall. You want me to keep going?
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, the suede actually provided some context. What colors are they? Easy.
I'm not going to lie. I haven't experienced just interruption during the actual foundational pillars of the show in quite a while. It's fascinating. We're also going to talk about the continued financialization of NFTs with NFTfi announcing a rewards program. And last but not least, we're going to discuss what the surge in Solana volume, love to see it, the surge in Solana volume means for the NFT market. Before I talk about our sponsor for a minute, Nick, how you doing? Seems like you want to get some stuff off your chest. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
No, I got it off my chest.
Okay.
You're the only one that seems frustrated about it, as well as all the listeners that can't interact with you right now because they don't understand how the shoe looks.
So I don't know if you're paying attention to the numbers. Every time you unmute, 50 people leave, and every time you mute, 100 people come in. So I just want to let you know that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today's show is brought to you by who else? By SoRare. So the 2023 NBA playoffs are underway. If you watched last night, then you would have seen that Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics are continuing to have leadership issues. They're continuing to not understand what it means to be great leaders and winners like the greats of the basketball world were before them. They're deciding to instead pout and have negative body language as they lose games in the first round of the playoffs. But you don't care about that. You care about SoRare NBA. And we're excited to announce the inaugural playoff competition with even better rewards. SoRare is giving away $100,000 of prizes during the NBA playoffs, including NBA memorabilia, merchandise, and even VIP tickets to the All-Star game next year. So SoRare, if you haven't heard me talk about them before, they're one of the biggest game platforms in crypto. They have millions of registered users and hundreds of thousands of monthly active users. And the best part is it is free to play. So you sign up for SoRare, they give you a bunch of free NFTs. I don't know if that sounds familiar. And then you use those free NFTs to actually play the game where you can win high value NFTs that you can actually sell or roll back into the game to win more high value NFTs. So SoRare allows you to actually showcase your basketball knowledge to compete in these free-to-play tournaments with win rewards based on the player's real-life performance. So keep on, taking those prizes and building your lineups. We also just had another record-breaking sale with Erling Haaland. Is this dude a soccer guy? Erling Haaland? He sold his card sold for $180,000. I know all the football fans, as we call it, the soccer fans, the football fans are going to be on my back for not knowing who that guy is. He must be pretty good if a SoRare card of his sold for $180,000. So anyway, for all the baseball fans, I know we were just talking about basketball, but baseball is well underway. For all the baseball fans, we're giving away a limited edition Mike Trout card to the listeners who sign up with the link in our pinned tweet on this Twitter space and draft their first team, which again is free. So sign up for SoRare, the nifty.com/SoRare, or that link that is in the Twitter space. Anyway, on to the weather report. Kicks, please take it away, buddy.
You got it, Coach. Very excited to be delivering you the weather report today. It is April 26, 2023. Market volume coming in a little bit on the weak side. Holy camole, it's $27.5 million. That's really low. Blur 15.8, that's low. Blur $6.8 million. That's wow. Leaders, Apes 51.4, somehow holding up still. Mutants coming down a little bit, 10.9. Punks got back above that 50 floor, 50.7. We got Azuki still just gripped to that 15th floor, 14.9. We got D-Gods looking good, 7.9. Captain's looking good, 7.8. Pudgy's fighting its way back up above that 4 ETH floor. Luca saying some bullish news coming today. Moonbirds 2.5 ETH. Got to take him off the leaderboard. Over the past 24 hours, first Nike, then Adidas, and now Wagmi Sun and Puma. The 10KTF team announced an NFT and physical shoe that allows holders with a mint pass to craft their PFP onto the iconic Puma Slipstream shoe and later use the NFT in upcoming Battletown 2.0. So you're getting a physical and a little digital utility. Yuga Labs confirmed that environment tiers on other side land are important. The tiers dictate the number of workers you can allocate on a plot of land. Interesting. The higher the tier, the higher the worker capacity, kind of like StarCraft. Other deeds expanded, holding 0.85 ETH4 rather. On to gaming. The UK competition regulator has blocked Microsoft's $75 billion acquisition of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard in a possibly fatal blow to the software giant's biggest ever deal. UK fighting back a little bit against antitrust. Lastly, Coinbase released Stand with Crypto NFT, with all proceeds donated to vetted crypto advocacy organizations. It's open to everyone. The mint is free via Zora, and participants can show support by adding a shield to their Twitter. Over 27,000 of those have been minted so far. Quickly looking over at crypto, we're having a nice little rally here. Bitcoin up, ETH up, Solana up, ApeCoin up, pretty much everything up off of the lows that we saw yesterday. A lot of that is being helped by some strong tech earnings from Google and Microsoft. Back to you, the man, the myth, and the legend, Pio Vincenzo.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Kicks, and thank you for the fantastic weather report as usual. Some other updates from the Nifty Daily Digest, which is the daily newsletter that's published at thenifty.com, and you should sign up for it because that's also how you're going to be able to claim today's free NFT that happens later in the show. So make sure that you go and sign up. Anyway, Moonbirds unveiled its Proof and Moonbirds Community Council, consisting of 10 community-nominated members who will meet bi-weekly with Proof leadership to exchange feedback, ideas, and ensure proper open communication between the team and the community. NFTfi, an NFT lending platform, announced a loyalty program that allows eligible borrowers and lenders to earn exclusive, non-transferable points. To secure OG points, users must lend or borrow on the platform before the May 15th snapshot. I saw someone, Kix knows this guy, Danny, say that he's been using NFTfi for years. I did not know he was leveraging his NFTs, but he's got some good stuff, some beeples and stuff. I figure if you have stuff like that, it does actually make sense to borrow against it, even though obviously there's a lot of risk at this moment associated with that. Other than that, Binance US terminated the $1 billion deal to acquire Voyager's assets, citing the current hostile and uncertain regulatory climate in the United States. Speaking of that, our very, our friend of the show, ZK Shark, big shout out to ZK Shark, got a quote tweet from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, because he's been posting content from Gary Gensler's MIT course, where Gensler seems to know a little bit about cryptocurrency, a little bit more than he let on during the congressional hearings while he was under oath. Last but not least, Russia plans to launch a new payment system enabling the use of cryptocurrencies for international payments, allowing two parties to make transactions and agreements without national interference. Those are your stories from the Nifty Daily Digest. Again, sign up at thenifty.com. All you need is an email address, and that's also how you're going to claim today's free NFT. So getting into it, let's talk about Puma and 10KTF. Look, we got Nick on stage. Nick made the 10KTF CryptoPunk hoodie, arguably the most iconic piece of, well, just fashion in general, but definitely NFT fashion. But I think just in general, in fashion history, Nick's viral tweet wearing the CryptoPunk hoodie has a place in history. Nick, are you going to roll that fame into this Puma and 10KTF sneaker and start stomping through the streets of New York City in those Puma 10KTFs?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a good chance at becoming a fashion icon.
You already am one. You are one.
Yeah, this seems like a good move for me in my life right now, is to yes, to become deeply involved with fashion. So yeah, I could see this happening. In all seriousness, no. Although I do want to check the shoes just to see what they look like. I'm more excited about my Murakami artifacts.
Do you have more than one of those or just one of those?
I just have one. I paying $1,000 for like $1,000 each for a pair of shoes seems extreme. It did drop as low as $500 though, I think.
It did.
Which would have been a buy, and you could have become a sneaker flipper, which was a great opportunity. I think Freelations picked up a few down there.
Yep, Franelations, said that it was a no-brainer for quite some time. I mean, easy. What do you think of these Puma 10KTF Puma slipstreams?
I don't think they're gonna do the type of traction that people are hoping for, to be honest. Like $900 Pumas seems a little bit ridiculous to me, especially like if you told me that they were like $900 Adidas's or Nikes, I think there'd be a higher chance. But Puma just hasn't had the spotlight recently, and they've shifted like their marketing focus more towards the actual like sportswear. Like you're seeing a lot of pro athletes wear them for basketball. They signed LaMelo Ball and a few others, but like the 10KTF play, it almost feels like they had to go with Puma because Adidas has their own NFT and Nike has their own NFT. So it was like one of the big three that isn't in the space. So this was like their only option to kind of go that vertical. It'll be interesting to see them get delivered because 10KTF is a little bit loud with the NFTs on merchandise, to say the least. So I am excited to see a physical pair. Maybe I'm surprised. Maybe they just slap it on the tongue and do some cool colorways, but I'm not getting my hopes up for them.
Yeah, the fashion intersection with NFTs has been challenging just because the only thing that NFT collectors have in common with each other is a passion for digital collectibles, right? There isn't even a crossover with physical collectibles. Easy, you're making a face at what's pulled up on the screen now.
So I was right. They are on the tongue. The colors are interesting, but there's a giant back heel tab on them, which I really don't like. Like that looks like a basketball heel tab, and you can see the inspiration from it because many people like from sports kind of carry them by the heel tab. These though, like I think if they scrap that back heel tab, I'd be a much bigger fan because they look more like a casual wear sneaker. And yeah, dude, there's a huge 10KTF heel tag on these for the audience. That just looks ridiculous. If they scrap that, I'd be a way bigger fan of these.
Well, I think it's because maybe a lot of their base doesn't know how to tie shoes, so they're kind of thinking that they need a little extra help to just slip it on.
It's like the 50 to 60-year-old market where you have to pull the heel tab up to get it on your foot because it's a little bit more difficult to bend over. Yeah, that makes sense. Appealing to the AARP audience, this makes a lot of sense.
So
I kind of like the colorways on these.
Yeah, some of the colorways are actually all right. Some of them are like quite summery, this one I think is probably better than the previous green one.
And we're looking at the Chimpers one. It's like orange and pink with black laces. This one, I do agree, has that heel tab though. It's where all my attention goes. The attention should be going to the tongue. Dude. Yeah, dude, that thing's wider than the shoe.
But to say on these, okay, so we're only looking at this from a physical perspective, but like I think what's interesting is that the 10KTF community are extremely passionate, extremely passionate, and the supply is low enough that it can sell out within their own community. Also, as well, you have to think about the digital part of this, whereby these like the NFT component can be used in Battletown, in a new season of Battletown that will come up. And if you remember the previous Battletown, you were rewarded in Ape for actually participating in missions. Some people made an absolute bag out of that. I managed to get a little bit just sending my little PFP into battle. Now, this one apparently will be the third strongest let's call it like weapon you can go into Battletown with. So obviously the higher the ranking, the more ape you'll be rewarded with. So there is a sort of like gamble here that if you end up spending $800 on these shoes, when you send your avatar into Battletown at the end of that season, potentially you could come out with a lot more in ape. So there is a sort of like investment flip perspective here by getting these shoes as well. So, and that makes that very interesting. It's not just a physical thing anymore.
I actually like that one that you just had on screen. I think it's key that we just like the color makes a huge difference in terms of my perspective of this particular shoe. We're gonna say, Pia.
I have to say, I'm blown away. It looks like you didn't move. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nick has joined us on video for the first time since he switched apartments. I'm freaked out right now.
He was trying to figure out. He was like, "Why is your desk angled that way?" And I was like, "Let me tell you, Pio. I'm like, the background needs to look consistent. People need to understand. I have an image to uphold."
Did you move?
He moved. That's a
new apartment. That's a new apartment. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. This is weird, dude. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we didn't mean to stop the show. The reason we're all marveling is because Nick moved, right? So he's in a new apartment. It's not the same home he was previously in. And yet on YouTube, it's identical. It's freaking me out.
I'm so uncomfortable, dude. I'm so uneasy. I'm unwell.
It's freaking me out.
What the hell?
People don't see these small details all make a difference.
But time out. Hold on. I agree with you on small details. Like when we're doing these animations and stuff, yes, of course, the small details matter. I don't think people were going to raise hell if Nick's background on YouTube was different. I don't think people were going to be like, what the F? What's up with this new background?
This is what the future of AI is going to bring. Exactly this. Like, is this real? I don't know.
It is crazy the way that this wall edge pops out right here is the exact same thing. Except I just realized that plant is not in the corner, so this whole thing needs to slide down a little bit. But it's going to look identical once this is.
It would have worked out great, like on a CIA like extraction team. You know what I mean? Like, we need you to rebuild this apartment in a different location in 24 hours for this extraction mission. It could be all over.
Someone said it's almost the same but smaller, and the reality is that's correct. You actually nailed it. This room is smaller, although the impact that the rug has on the sound dampening is far greater because I don't have extended ceilings. I don't have. There's a lot of things. Yeah, the issue I've been dealing with actually is that it does turn out that downsizing does force you to figure out where to put things and cut the cruft. So I'm giving away a lot of Bored Ape Yacht Club merch. That's the starting point. So
starting with the painting.
I love.
We should actually do it on the Bodago's account.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll give it away. Anyway, back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, we were all just.
I just want to point out one thing that's freaking me out about this move is that the lighting is pretty much the same, and that's what's weird because most people when they move apartments, A, do not move to the same floor. It's kind of difficult to get the same floor, but B, the light is hitting you in such a similar way that even if you took away the background, I would still think you're in the same apartment. So for me, it's the lighting that's freaking me out. It's the same.
I moved up.
Signal. Let me tell you, Signal, you know, at some point when every apartment has floor-to-ceiling windows and you're living in the sky in the 40s and 50s can start to look the same. You know what I mean? So when you're dealing with the top brass architects that construct in New York City, all of a sudden things start to look similar. Anyway, back to the show, ladies. Okay,
let's just add one thing to this. If you're also wondering, I downsized, saved thousands a month, and I now have heated floors in the bathroom. So when I walked in this morning, the experience just completely changed, and I thought that people should know that.
We're happy for you, Nick. So look, we can move on from Puma. we can move on from Puma.
Would that not change your life, Pio? This is just. I mean,
no. I said we're happy for you, buddy. No. You come in and you got your warm feet, your warm little toes. Anyway, so last question on Puma, then we're going to move on. 2,000 supply, $800 paid for in ApeCoin. Their goal seems to be to raise $1.6 million off of selling 2,000 shoes. Do we think that it's going to sell out? The codependents, those codependents, I think they were what? Gucci collab codependents?
Gucci collab, 608 per with, what was it? Was it 10K?
Yeah, but it didn't sell out.
No, it was 3,333 and 93% sold out. So it was pretty much a sellout at 90%.
Yeah, I love the argument it didn't sell out. They raised $5 million. It's like, oh, they didn't sell out.
if you have to think, okay, so go to whichever major city you've been to recently or live in, and you think about the flagship store of Gucci or any other large brand on a Saturday, the foot traffic. How much do you think that store would take in? And then you look at those numbers relative to what they did in that drop. It's quite staggering because to take in 5 million in one drop, like I tried to find out what the numbers would be for like Gucci in New York on Fifth Avenue, if it is on Fifth Avenue, I'm not sure, or what those numbers would be. Difficult to know, but I mean, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less, but at 93%, it's a sellout. It's amazing. I was talking about this last week where they know exactly how much materials they need to use. They know exactly how much labor. They know exactly how much marketing they need to put in it. It's a very efficient process. So even if they don't fully sell out and only get to say 80%, it's probably still a win in their book.
What 100%. And one of the things I was thinking about last night was some of the criticism around it, around this drop and the price tag. And then I realized, like, I try to take myself back like a year. Could you imagine the impact that this would have on a floor price if someone announced an exclusive one-of-one Puma drop? It would have gone absolutely nuts, and we didn't even like bat an eye, which was crazy to me. Well, NFTs and fashion don't always mix immaculately. So look, if we move on from this, I do want to talk.
I like the sneakers though, so just throwing that out there.
Well, the fashion icon, the NFT fashion icon, likes the sneakers. I want to switch gears to Mad Lads, which have been very successful. Easy. What can you tell the audience just about Mad Lads, the background? I'd imagine you know a lot, and then we'll kind of dig in.
It's probably like the best development team, hands down, on Solana. They actually helped Anatoly build the Solana blockchain. They created a wallet called Backpack, which has dynamic NFTs and interactable like in-wallet apps, like applications, much like a mobile app called XNFTs. And they rolled this out with the reveal. So when you minted your Mad Lad, you actually got a rug, like a picture of a rug. And all 10,000 of them made up one of their one-of-ones if you put them all together. And the way that they did the reveal was you had to parse through the rugs in the wallet and find your one, click it, and then it revealed. So it was like a cool gamified way, and it just showed the power of Backpack. And a lot of people are just betting on the team. You have Raj and Anatoly really backing this project because it is from Armani.
Anatoly is a co-founder of Solana.
Yeah. Yep, Anatoly and Raj are two of the original co-founders. Armani is the founder of Backpack, who's a former co-founder as well. So or a former developer on the team. So he also had worked with FTX. Backpack did have some investment there. So that was like basically the only FUD. But they really just played into this speculation aspect where they're like, we're not going to tell you what like is going to happen next. We're just going to just ship stuff. And we're using this project to give us more funding to hire more devs and ship at a faster rate. So we did see a few of these Skullhead ones sell from anywhere from 35,000 US dollars up to 75,000 was the highest sale yesterday. Damn. They've been #1 on the charts for 4 consecutive days, doing over 1 million volume a day. And a lot, like, it's actually awesome to see. We've seen 5 Solana projects in the top 30 of all NFT projects over the last 7 days. So there's been a lot of really good volume from this. The timeline's buzzing with it. And what seems like ETH is kind of slowing down NFT wise, it really does feel like the Solana space is really heating up right now from Heist, Oogie. Obviously Clonex are doing really well. They're getting a lot of traction, and basically like any announcement right now is getting people excited because it seems like with gas from shitcoins pumping, it's continuing to emphasize the ability with Sol that you can really hyper focus on transaction cost where it's 1/100th of a penny. And this got a lot of people excited.
And Easy, do you think that these guys are like, now that Frank's gone, like the de facto #1 on Solana, or is there kind of a 3-man race right now?
Clonex too, right?
Yeah, Clonex, they're different verticals though. I'd say Clonex is very much so like an IP animation play. This is like the developer play where they're actually shipping a product that gets people excited. And then you have Oogie, which is more of like a social community focused play where it's like a lot of people in groups that are like creating sub DAOs and wanting to hang out and like find a community that's like relatable. So you have a bunch of these different kind of verticals that are all making a push towards that top project. And it's great to see like Mad Lads really came out the gate hard because of the belief in Armani and Tristan, who are the 2 founders, and just their experience and expertise in the developer vertical of it, showing that they can ship products. So it's a good thing to see. Like it's actually awesome to just see the volume surge in, and it really emphasized the thesis that there's still people excited about Solana. They just needed something to be excited about, and we got it with Backpack.
I feel like, you know, someone whose birth name is Armani has just been gifted a path in life, and if you fade that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
That's the okay. Thank you, Kicks, for that insight.
But there's like a level of maturity that's finally hitting Sol here, where it's like people are really backing a good project, which is great, and not backing like there's been a few derivatives that have tried to launch and have since failed. Like people are just really being more focused on where to deploy that capital. And it's kind of tough to fade right now. Like, this is something that's got me excited, that you have the Heist that launched the game day one. You have CloneX showing IP in production. And then you have Mad Lads showing an actual product that shipped pre-launch. And these are
What's
what has
the last
people
cool
excited.
thing that happened on Ethereum? Last cool project.
Last cool project on Ethereum. Probably shitcoins.
Nakamigos.
Literally, Nakamigos is the last hot thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, look at this. They shipped this animation in like a week, and it just shows that their team is really strong from Clonosaurs. We're watching the pterodactyl animation, and this was the same team that literally created the Minions animation. Like, that's
Yeah, I was about to
insane
say,
to me.
it looks like a Pixar movie. I'd watch this.
Yeah, and like all the responses, you'll see a bunch of people show like their kids watching it over and over and over. Like Jux, who works with us at the Nifty, showed his son just watching it 1,000 times, having a blast. And Jux was like, "Dude, he won't let me turn it off." So it's like that's the that's the emotion you want. So it's great to see. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, there we go. He's just kids loving it.
That diaper's getting wet, doesn't even care. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling.
Anyways, love to see the success
Hey,
on
That's an
Solana.
Armani diaper right there.
Right?
Kicks, did you have exposure to one of these Solana projects that's pumping?
Heist. Yeah, I've been playing Heist, and I've really impressed with it. It's a great like in the vein of a Wolf game, but much more built out. Like much more built out. Lot more game theory. Like actually fun to play. So I was really impressed with that. I think Easy said that was like game 2 from that studio, so they seem to be one of the better like Web3 gaming studios over there. And Heist is the type of game that, when I think about Web3 gaming, is the stuff that excites me. There's a lot of people that are like really obsessed with like the next World of Warcraft being on Web3, right? Or like the next best first-person shooter being on Web3. But like when I think about Web3 games, like what we're doing at our studio, it's more stuff like this. It's like strategy, game theory.
It's like a Farmville style.
Yeah, and baked in with like actual like integration into the blockchain. But yeah, like I had 5 chimps. I put 3 in the low risk zone. Got my nanas. I put 2 in the high risk zone, and one of them got confiscated, like the 0.04% chance of happening. Like I didn't lose the chimp, but like they got
lost all his gear, lost all his bananas. Yeah, so I mean, like, there's some cool game theory about it. And the fact is, it's not a huge time sink. Like, it's 4-hour missions. So you can like, I have friends who are literally setting alarms and waking up at 3 a.m. to just go adjust this and come back and go back to bed. It's like crazy just to see the adoption rate. And they're up 3x was their peak, now about 2.5. And they haven't really released a lot of like game syncs. I'm just like excited because it shows that there's like a whole bunch of really cool stuff and people trying to figure out their footing here. In this bear market, there's no better time to try stuff, because when you fumble in a bear, you can pivot quickly, whereas in a bull, you kind of only have one chance.
When you say the adoption rate, what does that even mean? Like what? Like talk numbers with me. Like are 1,000 people playing
active? 7,200.
7,000 daily?
Yeah, is what they have for their statistics. Yeah, out of a 10K supply.
Start.
So yeah, I mean it's solid. I mean, the max that can actually play is if 10,000 of these are held by one individual, which are like a few, but they're spread out. Like the disparity between holdings is solid. Like I think the highest holder has like 130, and then it falls off fairly quickly down to like the 20s. But like it's a solid number for them. In the first day, they went from 4,000, 6,000 day 2, and now at about 7,200. The other thing that I keep looking at is daily active users on Solana. We went from daily active participants of about 6,200 to a little over 1,100 after Mad Lads. So almost a 2x in participants in the ecosystem, which is a really good sign, especially when ETH is now at about 7K daily active users from NFT traders.
11,000?
11,000. Yeah, 11,000.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's Mad Lads on Solana. Hot project over there. Love to see the Solana volume pumping. I'm going to chat about SoRare for a moment. Then I'd love to have Nick do a little bit of TA, given that crypto is pumping. And then we have a new segment after that, which is Choose Your Fighter, which I'm very excited to see what the story is. Might have to bring Clemente in to give us some context on that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, shout out to SoRare, the sponsor of today's show. Fantasy game powered by blockchain, dynasty based. For those of you that like fantasy sports, it's like a dynasty league, only with NFTs. Players own their cards forever and can use them in future seasons. Every card has XP point status. So the more you play, the better your cards get. And SoRare has attracted huge investors like Alexis Ohanian, Serena Williams, and then some players like Blake Griffin and Rudy Gobert. Huge partnerships like partnerships with Lionel Messi, Aaron Judge, Karl Anthony Towns. These are huge athletes in the United States and the world, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. And as I mentioned before, we had a $180K sale on a soccer, a football card in the past couple of weeks. So very, very awesome to see that. So with the 2023 NBA playoffs underway, SoRare NBA is excited to announce an inaugural playoff competition with even better rewards, over $100,000 of prizes, including NBA playoffs tickets, NBA memorabilia, merchandise, and even VIP tickets to the All-Star game next year. So go to the nifty.com/SoRare to sign up. It's free to play. You get your starting lineup for free, and then you can, get in the mix and start getting better. For all the MLB fans, we're going to give away a limited Mike Trout card this month to listeners who sign up with the link in the pinned tweet. So check that out if you're on Twitter Spaces. Anyway, Nick, technical analysis, the homie Crypto Kaleo, friend of the show, has been, for a while, he was saying $30,000 Bitcoin was a magnet. He just said it over and over again. No matter what was happening to Bitcoin, it was 18K, it was 20K. He was like 30K is a magnet. Hit that. Now he's saying 40K is a magnet. What do you make of what's going on with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the technicals in crypto right now? Because we are experiencing a bit of a pump.
I mean, when I look at this chart, Pio, looks like it's going up. Where I would have sold is probably right about here. Where I'd buy back in is probably somewhere up here after, because I suck at trading. But in terms of what's that?
Throw it on the monthly, dude.
Well, what's also good actually is, so I've just been holding that like Solana position, for example. Ooh, that's looking a real tasty. So at the monthly, I mean, it seems like we're really converging around this level that I had drawn out, which was at 1930, something like that. I want to see literally just on the daily, which I was showing. I'd like to see a close above this level. What's crazy is, how it this level did play out last week, and I was watching it, and this has been drawn for a while now. When it broke below, I was like, oh, okay, I guess there it goes. But it stayed within this range. So I don't know. It's right now it looks kind of bearish. This looked like a good opportunity potentially to pull to add essentially to your position if you wanted more exposure. I've been thinking about adding some Solana in particular. Because I think it still does another run back at a minimum back to 25, if not going
to 28.
What's your target? 28?
It's 28. Yeah, 28 short term, 34 longer term. Those are my two upside targets on it right now. I genuinely think we see over 40 going into 2024.
I just feel like I should just be adding to that bag because I like the idea of doubling my money. I don't know.
I mean, I think the risk rewards there, that and AVAX are like my two altcoin outside of ETH and Bitcoin are like the two that I genuinely feel will 2x going into next year.
Yeah, because what's interesting about Solana is the fact that before FTX, it was at $32. And most things most other comparables to Solana have moved up big numbers from where they were at in November. So definitely seems like there could be some upside there.
Why you're bucketing AVAX and Solana in the same system here?
Yeah, I mean, just two separate reasons. I think Solana has a very strong user-based community and development cycle right now that's showing increased exposure, etc. And the one thing about Sol that's got me excited is they just announced a new head of communications and head of marketing. So I think the messaging around Sol is really going to shift over the next 6 to 12 months, where they can get ahead of this it always shuts down kind of thesis that's sadly just inaccurate. You look at other blockchains that refork constantly and have reorgs. So for me, it's that's something that I think is going to slowly but surely change and get people excited again. They're also rolling out grants from the Solana Foundation for open source code. So they actually just rolled one out for AI that has to be entirely open source for the people to use, which has me excited. Like they're clearly showing a path for development. The AVAX side of things that has me the most excited is the support from Amazon to give infrastructure support to AVAX. And then AVAX taking a massive push on the gaming ecosystem. They partnered with TSM, one of the biggest esports organizations, to power them with a subnet. And they're continuing to roll out from that perspective. I think AVAX already has some of the better games. I mean, like I look at some of the things over there that have done really well. And they're just continuing to like figure out ways to iterate on that front. Like they're seeming to put more of their focus on the gaming side of things. And I think the support from Amazon, potentially giving them a subnet, is going to provide some underlying buy pressure on it.
On the technical side, I mean, these Bollinger Bands look real nice. John Bollinger, you know, out here tweeting. He responded to my tweet or my message, Kicks.
Yeah,
actually, Clemente
I told
sent him
him.
a DM saying, "Hey, come on the show," and he replied.
Does that mean he's going to come on the show?
No, he said no.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that was nice of him. Put the MACD indicator on this and go to the monthly. I noticed that you're liking this monthly.
I'm on the weekly right now because it provides more information.
I just want you to put the MACD on the monthly, you know, for the audience.
You want me to put the MACD on the monthly? I don't know how to add the
indicators.
Here you go. MACD.
I've been using this for half the time you have. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, that's fine.
That one?
Yeah, and put it on the monthly. Look at it. You see that? You know what I'm saying, dude? Yeah, I like that.
So describe what you're seeing.
So,
yeah, so
right
what
now,
I'm seeing, the MACD curl, right, is when you go from like deep into the red and it starts to curl back up into the green. You can see when we look at 2021, it went big up into the green, curled back down. So we're looking like we're getting a MACD curl. That's why, like, it seems like, you know, we want to pop green in the next 2 months. So that would, you know, Kaleo's 40K target or maybe a little south. Doesn't sound too crazy.
I like this, man. So yeah,
I know, I've been looking at the monthly, dude. It's weird, right? But as you get older, you kind of zoom out, right?
If you want some more bullish, thesis, pull up the DXY. If the dollar dies, crypto pumps, and that thing looks like it's about to just absolutely collapse.
I don't know how
that.
What
Go
is,
up to the top where it says BTC USD, top left.
You want to add a ticker?
That's fine. Just type DXY.
It just doesn't show up. Oh,
Type in USD. Yeah, that works. DXY.
Okay. So we got the DXY pulled up. Yeah, and to Easy's point. Now, what is this a dollar index?
It's a dollar index, yeah. So this, and like if you really zoom out on this, the last run that we had was pushing from the 18 to 2020 cycle post crypto collapse, where it rallied from the 88 up to 98. And then most recent bull run we had 21 to 22. We saw it get all the way up to 115 during the print during COVID. Now that that's cooling off, interest rates rising, I think that we could see right back down to about the 92 area, which is a great sign for crypto.
Wow. Okay.
And look at that red. Look at that red turn.
That's
on top
actual. No, I get it.
Well, the global thing I wanted to say is BRICS is getting 19 applicants. They're creating their own central currency to actually handle trade, which pushes the dollar even lower as a dominant actual value asset. So like there's a whole bunch of macro factors that make me think the dollar is going to struggle here.
So rather than trading foreign currency, we're trading cryptocurrency here.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that, Phil.
You might be able to argue that that is foreign.
We're just citizens of the internet.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know anything about technical analysis. I don't know anything about Forex trading. I know Easy's Forex trading now, literally buying Singaporean money.
Just spot dollars.
Anyway, my thing is like, I would, if the whole world is going to run away from the dollar, which basically the whole world was walking away from the dollar since 2020. And if all of a sudden the whole world's going to run away from the dollar, rather than buy random ass other countries' currency, why would I not just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum? Like, why would I not buy the technology solution, the next thing? That's the way I think about it.
Tunisia's doing some really great innovations right now, Pio. So I think that Tunisia, I would look into some of the innovation that they're doing, and on the currency front, and I think it would be a great buy here.
All right. Any closing TA thoughts before we move on to choose your fighter? Nick, Easy, Kick, Signal, anybody? Bunny, what's your technical analysis on where we're at?
I'm sorry, Pio. I've been looking at this Loopify tweet for a while. They tweeted about FTX sweeping the floor of Hate Beast near the Pico top. And I'm in the screenshot, dude. I dumped on Sam's head, bro.
Wait. Hold on. Go ahead, Bunny.
FTX swept my Hate Beast right off the floor, 7.5 ETH.
Okay, so that's what you're dealing with right now is the excitement of finding out that when you sold a random rug pull NFT that had a lot of hype over a year ago, I want to say, it turns out that FTX was the buyer.
Yeah, that was the last time I had fun. Like, coincidentally, last time I had fun in NFTs was when I made all that money.
What'd you spend the money on, Bunny?
I don't know, probably diapers.
Okay. Well, congratulations on finding out that Sam Bankman-Fried, I guess, bought your Hate Beast. Okay. Nice. Clemente, that is quick. Clemente's getting pretty good. Clemente has the transaction pulled up on YouTube. Hats off to you, Clemente, for getting that. That's pretty good. That's like Jamie from Joe Rogan level to have this pulled up that quick. Very nice. Very nice.
That thing is ugly.
I mean, the fact that this was a hyped up drop in the NFT space kind of tells you everything about where we were at in the NFT space.
Best offer 0.269. Pio, yeah, closing thoughts on just where crypto's at. For me, I'm like in the no man's land. You know what I mean? Meaning that like I'm not adding, and I've already trimmed my bags, so I'm just sitting and waiting. If it goes up, I'm happy. If it goes back down to like, if ETH goes back down to like 1,500, I'll nibble and buy some more. But like right now, it's in the no man's land. You know what I mean? It could go either way, right? So like what I've learned over, like trading this stuff over the past couple of years is that like the biggest way you can lose money is over trading, right? And you got to like wait for your setups. And right now, I feel like that the setup to make money off of these trades was in January when ETH was at 1250. That was the big setup. And now we've moved up, more than 50% from there. So I'm in no man's land. I've trimmed my portfolio. I'm still holding a bunch, and I'm going to see what happens.
Love the mature take from Kicks here. Clemente, can you set us up? What is the deal with this new segment we're doing, Choose Your Fighter? I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We have 3 different sets of collections that we're going to look at. And essentially, we're going to pick 2 projects that are kind of close in either floor price or in the department or appeal that they have. And you have to pick what has the highest upside over the next 6 months. And we'll be starting off with Doodles versus CloneX.
Nick, Doodles versus CloneX. If you had to buy one right now and hold it for 6 months, which one would you buy?
Wow. This is a tough one. If I got to pick both, I'm going to go with Doodles. Here's the reason. They've been beaten down so much right now. They're inevitably they have to drop something. Like they have an actual CEO, which did have some FUD about sexual harassment, but at least, he didn't send unsolicited dick pics. So that's something that's been circulating recently. We didn't cover that in the newsletter or the weather report, but that's valid. In terms of the Doodle CEO and the team and the stuff that's going on, although Signal did mention the other day that there was some Pharrell announcement and the market didn't react to it.
Pharrell has a collab with Doodles for some like merch happening at a festival. Can't remember the name of it. And it was like beach towels, skateboards, hoodies, hats. So quite a few things. It was in Variety. It was an exclusive, but I didn't see the market move off the news.
Well, maybe they didn't do the tokenomics properly, which does appear to be a situation with Doodles that they're sort of following in the footsteps.
The footsteps.
In their footsteps.
Das Boot. Nick,
and,
do a German voice real quick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Doodle. No, can you say Doodles with the German?
Oh,
accent?
you want me to do the?
No, not.
I Doodle.
No.
I like the donuts. So
So back to the segment.
Yeah,
Personally,
shout
I'm taking CloneX.
Shout out to all our Munich and Berlin audience. Anyway, go
they
ahead.
actually
Nick.
are a decent size of the audience, and they've been abandoning us ever since I've been making the these are Doodles.
Oh,
Dude, we need to set up a training session for one of our episodes on inclusivity, and so that we can stop doing these inappropriate things, because it's clear, if you did this in the workplace, this sort of behavior would just be, I'd be fired.
Yeah, Nick, just
And
give
so
us a
I
clip
just think-
notes of what you learned.
Okay, so you're saying I should go take it and then just come and talk about it afterwards?
Dude, also your internet at your new place sucks, dude. I don't want to be the first one to
I
tell
just
you. but
saw
man,
that.
It's,
I did,
yeah, it's
I did,
garbo.
I just saw that. But is it working okay right now?
no.
You got like a 0.4 second delay and a little bit of a blur.
We got 15 minutes here. Don't worry about it now.
Yeah,
We'll get
I
it squared
picked
away.
CloneX. Final answer.
CloneX for kicks. Easy.
CloneX, final answer. Lock it in. Yeah, I just think that after the ad they played with the Murakami sneaker, it shows that they're going to try to correct the ship here. Doodles, on the other hand, I don't know, man. I've heard some rumblings that they may be trying to move the project. So we'll see if they actually do.
Wait, whoa.
Wait, what does that
Excuse me?
mean? What does that mean? Move
Yeah,
the
I've heard they've been
project?
shopping it. That's some deep web conversation is that they've been trying to move it.
Damn, there we
Yeah.
go.
Wait, so say that one more time. Sorry, I need to understand this.
Some deep conversation is some people have been saying that they've heard Doodles is trying to move the project, which would not surprise me.
Like you're not saying moving change. You're saying like sell to someone. Sell.
Yeah, like find a buyer who would be able to take it over and actually put some structure behind it. Which is that like really that surprising, to be honest? Like the more I look at it, like I feel like they're primed for an exit. Yeah, see, I've heard that too. I've heard like it's been kind of rumbling for a little bit now about them looking for a buyer. And that's like not terribly surprising, but I think that could cause more downward pressure until they potentially find one.
Wow. I mean, that would be crazy news.
Dude, they're gonna come after me today and yell at me and be really mean. The Doodles holders are really mean. They tell me my PFP is ugly and that it looks like it was drawn by a child. And I'm like, dude, leave me alone, dude. Just stop.
It'll be
Stop.
I mean, if that is the truth, it'll be very interesting to see, like from a management perspective, who stays on and who leaves. From that perspective, or if it like, will it be like a full buyout, or whether it be like a partial buyout with some of the existing?
I didn't
teams
get any
staying?
context. Just it was actually during NFT NYC. So that was kind of the thing that I heard, was that in some circles, there's been some conversations had. So it's not surprising, especially in a bear market when things are doom and gloom and the floor continues to trend lower. It's like finding a buyer, especially when you have a lot of capital on hand, raised VC capital, and potentially find an opportunity to push it forward. We'll see.
Got Bounce, cool guy that I met at NFT NYC, said that the founder's name is Poopy. You think he doesn't want an exit? So a nice little toilet humor here on a Wednesday morning from Got Bounce. That would be insane news if it came out that Doodles sold. That would be absolutely insane news. Look, but time out real quick for the sake of this Choose Your Fighter segment. If they did sell, is that going to pump the price? Is that actually going to be a positive? Okay.
Yeah, I think Doodles
so.
is the call here, Pio. They have, first of all, there's less assets.
Right. All right. I'm going to weigh in. I'm now influenced by everybody else's takes. I'm going to say Doodles. I'm going to say Doodles if they sell. And if they're trying to sell, that means they're going to sell. It's like when an MMA fighter says that they're thinking about retiring, it means that they're going to retire. So, all right. Wow.
Wait, Doodles is selling the company?
Your Wi-Fi, I mean, Nick, we're not even giving you a hard time. We just did like that whole thing while you were squaring away the Wi-Fi. I can send you the clip afterwards and you can experience it the way the audience did. But basically, there's a rumor going around that the ice Doodles, as you did with your German accent,
I said Doodles.
that they're looking to sell the project, which is kind of crazy. What do you think of that, Nick?
There's nothing more bearish than that news.
Really?
Man, an acquisition in a bear market when you had millions and millions of dollars just shows the fact that, like, I mean, it also, I mean, the reality is, if you're going to raise money in this market, you might as well go for hundreds of millions of dollars when there's a bull market, is my lesson learned from this. Because what's the implication? There is literally there's no repercussion of raising $100 million instead of $5 million or whatever it is. And like, I don't know. It just feels all these companies that are failing despite having way more money, to me is just absolutely bonkers. And I think it's also, what's frustrating about it is you haven't gotten the damn things out the door, like the actual like roadmap items that they were promising all along. And in that world, when I hear that, to me it just feels like, oh well, the team was lying, like just straight up like bold face lying. Here's what we're gonna do, but we have no experience with that and probably aren't going to be able to do that. That said, startups fail all the time, but usually
people go to the office in New York and work at the startup for years before it fails. Yeah,
exactly. And more importantly, the product is the thing that fails, but the product gets out the door. Like I know small startups, if you have, $100,000 or something like that, I've heard of that scenario where the product doesn't get out the door. Because you didn't have enough money and you'd never managed a development team before. And I've seen that in my, in the past. But when you have $40 million and you just can't get the damn thing out the door, I don't know. That just feels like where's this, like the Pharrell stuff is underwhelming, I would say at this point, because what they're saying is, oh yeah, we're doing t-shirts. We're doing hoodies.
Well, Pharrell's never acknowledged Doodles publicly, like in any meaningful capacity.
Yeah, so it just feels like kind of a lot of nonsense. And that's frustrating if you're a holder that bought one of these at, $20,000, $30,000 or something like that. And it seemed like a no-brainer at that moment in time. Like, Doodles is iconic in the NFT space, and it still is one of the biggest projects.
But to be honest, as a holder, and there's been so many red flags, and not just Doodles, right? Like a lot of these projects where the floor price has retraced so aggressively, there have been flags along the way. I remember Whoppy, and this was over like a year ago, saying that he was going to sell his Doodle because every time he was in a Discord, the community was always complaining, which is a huge red flag. Like when you get a community that always complains, I've seen it happen before in other communities, the price is just going to go down. So it's like, there's been many opportunities to exit along the way, and anyone who's still holding it, I'm sorry, but it's just been hopium from 20 down to like 2. And I know that's a really harsh thing to say, but like sometimes that cord just has to be pulled. You just got to get out, even if it is a loss, but it's a smaller loss than what it would be if you're selling down at 2.
Tough one.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the Doodles. Next collection in Choose Your Fighter. So this is if you buy the thing over 6 months, which one is better? I love this one. I think that this is a great curation by Clemente.
Manny Pacquiao.
Clemente's on fire today, ladies and gentlemen. Beans. So Azuki's small collection, beans, or small collection. Azuki's secondary collection. The beans infiltrated my mind and I said small. Anyway, beans versus Utes. This is a juicy one. It's a very good one. Bunny, beans versus Utes. Bunny.
I'm gonna go with Utes.
I'm going first.
Yes, sir.
I think Utes.
Utes.
I thought somebody said Frank was pivoting attention to Utes after like the last DGods thing. I think it was after Bitcoin DGods. So I take the chance on that as opposed to the beans.
Okay.
Well, if Ute starts manipulating the floor the way that Azuki is, I feel like we got a lot of promising opportunities here. Like beans, though, on the IP side, I'm way more interested in.
Fire.
Utes is changing the art, though. Same with DGods. So we'll see what this new iteration is. They teased
what?
They're
changing it again?
Yeah, it's their play. Frank's most recent messages were that he was in a space 2 days ago. I read the recap. I missed the space in which he said that they're treating the art like Supreme rollouts, in which they update the art to get people excited again and keep the focus on it. I do like, only how many times can you like change the art before people are just kind of tired of it? But they've continued to iterate on this and done a damn good job. So it seems like Ute Season 2 and D-Gods 3 are what they're calling them. It'll be an art upgrade, some additional news and kind of catalysts, which I think will end up pushing the floor higher for sure. But it's tough to compete with this. Like Bean's most recent Instagram reel did, I want to say 7 million views.
They're doing
Right
crazy numbers on Instagram. The Beans are crazy numbers.
Biggest thing about it, bro. Look at that page. Look at Chimpers. Look at Pudgy. None of them say NFT or Web3. They just talk about centralized concepts with
correlate to
QR.
NFT price action?
Bunny,
Because it gets mass consumers interested in a product. That's it. Like,
how does
you're
it
thinking
correlate
short-term,
to NFT
Rabbit.
prices? How does it correlate to NFT prices?
No, because my son's scrolling through Instagram. He's like, "Hey, Dad, can we get one of these beans?" And then I pull it up, and it's fucking 2 ETH. I don't know what ETH is. That's $4,000. I'm not buying my kid a picture of a fucking bean.
No, but Bunny, but Bunny, do you remember what Luca was saying last week, where he was like, when you go down this path of IP, it's not necessarily getting them to the NFT directly, but it could be just first of all getting them to the toy and getting them to love a character within that universe. And I think what Beans are doing really well, and sort of like in line with Pudgy's as well, is just like you start to fall in love with the characters. They're very likable. And I remember one of the stats that came out when they were talking about the app Lean, I believe it was. There was something like 60 billion stickers were sent per day in that app. And if these become characters that are part of those numbers getting sent every day, these are characters that people will end up loving. And then they're not going to run to the NFT, but they will run to the IP, which is a revenue stream for the business, which makes the business stronger, which they can then take a decision how to drive revenue back to the NFT. So it's not a straight path of see cute bean on Instagram, meaning NFT floor price goes up. I think it's more of a virtuous circle.
And the bigger thing
I just don't think that's how like kids buy like plushies or collectibles, right? Like that IP is going to be completely unknown to them unless you have like a major motion picture, a Netflix TV show, or like some giant YouTuber shilling these things. Like, dude, my kid only buys stuff from like IP that he's aware of.
It's progressive. The reality is if Bunny, you're not running our IP side of the business. I'll tell you that much based on this. You failed the interview. Okay. You just failed the interview because here's the reality. You do things progressively. Like you do it one step at a time. You're saying, well, why isn't this damn thing working? Versus like when people do nothing, the NFT market, Bunny represents the average NFT market participant. Basically is like, well, why the fuck does that matter for me? Like you raised millions of dollars. Here's the reality. You're running a business. You're building a business. And then when you go and build the business, people say, what the fuck? What are you doing?
I think it's the wrong way to build it. I don't think that there's going to be outside.
So what would you do
for these products?
But Bunny, so you'd spend 3 years developing a major motion picture and put all of your money and bank it on that?
No, I was saying that tongue in cheek. My point is that like that's not going to happen. So I don't know how I don't see these I don't see Web3 toys just like being sold in Walmart and like people buying them, like normies buying them. Why would they buy them?
Why don't you think that that'll happen?
Because it's completely unknown and unfamiliar IP to 90%
Do you know
of the
G.I. Joe?
population. Like,
or Barbie? Have you heard of Barbie or G.I. Joe?
Yeah, what does that have to do with NFTs though?
At one point, no one knew what those were.
Like, how do you think they got out there? They did it with NFTs, Bunny. Okay, that was how G.I. Joe came into existence, was with NFTs.
Part of the argument. This is like the reverse way of building IP. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's like reverse engineering.
It's the way of raising money and showing that you're doing something and progressively developing IP and building narrative and stuff like that. But okay.
Here's the deal.
I don't think it's going to be a lucrative part of the business.
Here's the way.
honestly.
Here's the way I think about it. I understand. I have an understanding that NFT technology is here to stay, right? Because it's just blockchain technology being implemented for essentially art and collectibles. So that is technology that's going to last. That technology is not a fad. So I understand that. Then I know that inevitably somebody is going to do it right and actually build something special using that technology. Maybe it's us, maybe it's somebody else, but I understand that it is going to happen. So that's the second thing I understand. Then the third thing I ask myself is, would I rather that entity crush it on the biggest social media platforms in the world and get the IP in front of millions of eyeballs or not? And I'll take the yes. I'll take it all day long. I'll take it fucking Monday through Friday and the weekend. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to drop the free NFT in just a second because the show's going to wrap. But before I do, one last shout out to SoRare, the sponsor of today's show. NBA playoffs are underway. SoRare is giving away $100,000 of prizes, NBA playoff tickets, memorabilia, merchandise, VIP tickets to the All-Star game next year. SoRare is free to play. You collect digital cards of varying scarcity to play in fantasy competitions each week for rewards. The cards utilize the blockchain. They're built on layer 2 Ethereum Starkware, so you own them forever. Simply put, it's the first proper gamification through fantasy meets ownership through collectibles in a digital environment, and it's made possible, like we talked about, from blockchain technology. So go to the nifty.com/SoRare or click the link on in the pinned tweet on Twitter. We're giving away a Mike Trout card this month to one lucky audience member that signs up for SoRare. Anyway, today's free NFT. Clemente, if you could please. Oh, look at that banner. That's pretty good, Clemente. Wow. Oh, look at that. Look at that look on his face. He's like, yeah, I did that.
Playing around. Today's NFT password is Dog Brown, DOGBROWN.
So instead of Doc Brown, it's Dog Brown, like Clemente said. And the free NFT, Clemente is minting it right now on the nifty.com/claim. If you take a look at the NFT, it's back to the bodega. It looks like Buddy might have met Dog Brown, the crazy scientist guy that exists in Buddy's town, and they've got a DeLorean and they're going back in time. So this is in the Bodogos Cinema series. Seems that the filmmaking of the Bodogos is getting to a new level. Buddy is the leading man in this motion picture. Very, very cool stuff. For all you Back to the Futures fans out here, I guarantee the Bodogos version, Back to the Bodega, is going to kick Marty McFly's ass. So, eat your heart out, Michael J. Fox. Nick, it looks like you wanted to say something.
I've never heard of Back to the Future, but this movie looks promising.
That's what I'm talking about. Bunny just wrote in the general chat on our Slack that he's here to apply for the IP job. You can't have it. You can't have it, Bunny. You lost the job, and you know what? You're off the show. Just kidding.
Disaster.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the NFT Morning Show. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time each and every week. It's also available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you like the video on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe to the podcast if you want to support the show. Everything in between. We'll be back tomorrow. Good to have Nick back in the saddle. Fun show today. We will catch you guys